if you could put that up, that'd be awesome.
Oh, did I not? Okay.
I didn't see
Last
it.
week,
Maybe
I don't know if
maybe I
anybody
missed
was
it.
there.
Nobody came last week.
Oh, well, there you go.
I wasn't one last week.
I forgot. I was driving and I was coming from a job orientation. I was driving, but I forgot to call you. I said, "Oh my God, I missed that." Will be the only one.
I was here by myself.
I can't do
Yeah, I feel
Tuesdays, so but Wednesdays work better for me. That's why I was able to hop on and listen.
Okay. Well, we'll just keep doing the Wednesdays then. That's
Yeah,
fine.
Wednesday gonna be better.
Wednesdays are better?
Yeah, I think it's a better day for me too.
Okay. All right. It's all of this is so new. I'm just trying to think of how to help you study for the test and how to help, like, because if the test is due Sunday, I would look at those study guides, and honestly, I use those to make up the test, right? I pick the questions based on those. So I would look at those.
Every chapter has a study guide, so we need to answer the question from the study guide.
Yeah, yep. I would write down the answers to the study guide based on what's in the book and what's in the PowerPoint notes. For me, writing it down is how it goes in my head. And I know just from doing this for so long, that's very true for a lot of students.
My point is, I can know it by heart when I take the test before. I felt so bad.
Well, yeah, I wonder why. You got to really, like, I think writing, like, to me, writing it down is practicing, like I take those study guide questions, right? And I might put those on one side of the paper, and then, like, I fold the paper long ways, and I write the question on one side of the paper, and then on the other column, I put the answer, so I can kind of quiz myself that way. I don't ever do flashcards just because for some reason they don't work for me, but just the process of writing it down at least one time helps, I think, helps it stay in your head better. It creates paths in your brain. What about, does anybody have any other questions about the bone chapter?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you go over the coverings and linings of the bone? It's like the periostem, the endostem.
Yeah, the endosteum, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the coverings and the linings of the bone. So if we take a bone and we cut, and if you guys were here, we have a big femur that somebody took some sort of saw and cut the front of it off, right? Okay, so if this is the bone, it's a beautiful picture. I'm trying to look in the book, make sure I don't jack it up. Okay, so if you take the bone, right, and here's a medullary cavity. Okay, so that's where the red bone marrow is going to be inside of there. So inside of there, so endo, anytime you see endo, right, and you have a choice, you're going to say it's inside. Okay, so endo is always inside. So endosteum, so that's going to line that's inside of there. Okay, then out here on the outer part of it, that's the periosteum. So I always think peri, and I think perimeter. Okay, and perimeter is always like, if I had to set up a perimeter, that was my safe zone, right? So right now my perimeter is like 6 feet away. Everybody's got to be 6 feet away. So peri's always on the outside. So periosteum is going to be the outside layer. Okay, and then you'll have the bone, right? And then you'll have the endosteum. The periosteum is broken down into a couple of layers. I'm not too worried about that. Okay, I'm not, just if you know peri and endo, that's good.
So perio lines the outside of the bone, and then the endo lines the inside of the medullary cavity.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the only thing that I have that goes along with the rest of this is the difference between red bone marrow and yellow bone marrow.
Okay, so red bone marrow is when you're young. So when you're young, you have red bone marrow, and red bone marrow, it's where we make blood cells. Okay, and as we age, the red bone marrow starts to change and it becomes more fatty and it becomes yellow bone marrow. And as you age, people become more anemic. They end up with less red blood cells, right? And so it kind of gets replaced with yellow bone marrow. Yeah, sad. You end up with fat in your bone marrow. That the only difference is what's in there and how like it becomes not active anymore, right?
Okay. So when they do like bone marrow transplants,
Yeah.
they take it from the medullary cavity then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So they'll take like a little drill or a big needle, right? And they'll go in through in the hip. They'll go in through the compact bone and into the medullary cavity to take the bone marrow out. Yep. So the person donating it, I think, has more pain from the surgery than the people that are receiving it. Because if they're receiving it, it's just going to go in through an IV.
And then one more thing that was in the book, but it was not in the PowerPoint. Do you want us to know the specific types of bone fractures?
No.
Okay.
Nope. And I don't know if that's a cop-out because they're kind of cool, but no. It's gross. It's kind of cool, but no, I don't. We're trying to get you to know normal. So nope, I don't. You don't have to know the types of fractures.
Do you give enough time in the exam?
I hope so. Probably not. I can't remember how much I did give you guys. I figured it.
I think it's an hour and a half, but it's definitely enough time.
Yeah, it said
It's not enough.
75 questions, 60 minutes.
Okay, that's what I thought. So
It take me time to answer them question.
I know. Well, we've had this big discussion around here because we figured out that if we give you guys a lot of time, people are really good at Googling the answers. So, so they've suggested 30 seconds a question. And that would only be 45 minutes.
Problem is, people, when you Google and say it's not gonna help you because you have a test when you take your board test, it's not gonna help you. But when to concentrate, for me, there is a teacher, I take the exam. He give me a lot of questions. I have to switch page to page. I cannot even finish with the question. There is 12 questions not even answered. He give it like 50 minutes.
I know. I don't know that. Yeah. See, I don't know the answer with that. I'm struggling with it too. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's why I like to give you your test face to face or in the testing center.
We have to read. I have to read. There is some question very long, and I have to ask my brain what is the best answer. You understand? Whatever, if you Google it, you're gonna pay it in the future. So I just like to focus and see. Not guess, not just read. Sometimes you read it, you understand one part, and you fail the question.
I know. I know. I don't know the answer. Like when I've opened things all the way up and given people endless amounts of time, then everybody gets like 100.
Because they focus, they get time to focus.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Focus perfectly. Perfect focus.
Yes.
Yeah. I know. How about the hormones in the bone chapter? Are you guys okay with those? Yeah.
The hormone.
There's
Yeah.
two
Hormone is
hormone.
not-
There's calcitriol and there's calcitriol. So basically, in general, know how it works. Okay. So know what the stimulus is going to be. So the stimulus for it to be released is low blood calcium. Okay. And then the receptor is the parathyroid gland, detects the low blood calcium. Okay, then the calcitriol, whoops, I'm doing parathyroid hormone. Oh, I'm like mixing them up. Okay, so calcitriol is coming from, shoot, I'm like jacking it all up here. Okay, so calcitriol, what it's going to do is it's going to increase your blood calcium. So the stimulus would be low blood calcium. Okay, now what's with this one, what the interesting part and what they're finding out more about it is, so we add lots of vitamin D to milk now. So people have enough vitamin D3 because it's some in supplements. But now it turns out that people aren't getting enough sunlight. Okay, so you need the sunlight and the UV light. And what that does is it converts it, it's going to convert it into calcitriol. Okay, and then the calcitriol is going to help you lay down calcium, keep calcium and lay down bone. So now they're looking at people, so like people my age that they're saying, oh, you need to eat calcium, you need to eat calcium. Well, if you're not in the sunlight, it doesn't matter. So like if you're working all the time and you're not in the sunlight, you still have osteoporosis no matter how much you eat. So that you have to have both of those things together in order to lay down bone. And your parathyroid hormone has to be right too. All right, what else?
I wanted to ask a question just to make sure I clarify this. So chapter 8 was our lab last week, and it's also part of our lab this week.
Yes.
Should we take notes on the PowerPoint that's the skull part, and then would there also be a PowerPoint for the lab part this week?
Okay. I don't know. I put those PowerPoints up there because I was just I'm trying to figure out how to get the lab stuff in you. So I thought if you needed those pictures, like you don't need to read the book and know all of those parts on the skull or all the parts on the bone. But I was thinking if I gave you some access to some big pictures that you wanted to print out that you could practice labeling, that might be useful. But you don't necessarily have to go through the chapter and take notes on it. No.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just to help you learn the parts. So I used the chapter 8 connect stuff and the labeling exercises because I thought, well, that'll be good. They can drag and drop and get feedback that whether they know it. But the lab part is tricky.
Yeah, I know, because I watch, like, for some of the videos of the chapter notes, you'll be like, oh, we did this in lab, and I'm like, oh, man.
Okay. Yeah. So would it help if I took the skull and that kind of stuff and walked you through it and pointed to the parts on that PowerPoint?
I think if you could, just because I printed out the pictures and I went through and highlighted like what was on the study guide
Yeah.
that I needed to know, but I wasn't sure if you wanted us to know not only where they are, but like what they do.
No, pretty much where they are, but maybe I should make a thing, and I thought I'll make another video. You guys getting sick of videos?
I like the videos. It makes me feel like
the
I'm in
videos.
class.
Okay, so you guys do
The
like,
videos help you a lot.
okay. All right, that's cool, because I can do videos. I just never know if people are really watching them. All right, I can make a video for this.
Make a review video for us, please. For the
Okay.
exam.
So the quiz that we took that was due yesterday for the skills, do you have to go back and grade that?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure because I was a little confused on my grade. So I just wanted
Was
to make
it
sure.
bad? Did it come out? Yeah, so I tried.
It wasn't bad, but I'm pretty sure I did better than what it said.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Me
I'm-
too.
Okay.
I did more. I need more points because I did more. I just write them.
I'll go through, I have to go through and grade all those because I try to tell it what to look for. But if you guys add an extra word or something,
I
It
did.
marks-
yeah, like I try to give it options. Like I say, okay, if it's supposed to be thyroid, I put in thyroid, I put in thyroid gland, I put in like anything I can think of. And it's still, I go through and I have to fix them. So I will do that.
It's no big deal and no rush on my end. I just, since we were talking, I just figured.
Yeah,
I'd
no,
ask.
that's good because I need to know. I'm
So.
trying to figure, I mean, we're almost to the end and I'm still trying to figure out the best way to help you. So
Oh, I
I
think you're
can
doing
make
a great job.
videos for the skull and for the bone and for the muscles because that helps. And I have little tricks, right, to help you learn it. Do the drag and drops and connect help at all?
I like the labeling, yes.
You
And I
do?
like how you put up, I think it was for the senses when you put up the blank ones so that we could go back through and do it ourselves.
Okay. Go ahead. But I didn't do that for skull. Should I do blank ones for the skull?
I mean, for me, I just printed out, like I went through the PowerPoint and printed out the already labeled pictures, and I thought that was fine just because there's so much
There's so much
information
crap
on them.
on it, right? So what students used to do when we practiced, when we did it face to face, is they would print out those pictures, right? Or even they would use their book and they would, but if you have an ebook, you can't really do that. Cover up where it was labeled with like a piece of paper or a Post-it note, and then they would practice that way. Like they would practice labeling it so that when it came time to take a lab quiz on it, they had, it's almost like a spelling test when you're little, like the
That's
more.
what I do. That's what I do. I just go ahead and I kind of draw it. I mean, obviously it's really bad, but I just draw it myself.
Yeah.
And then I go back and label it. And I found that works the best for me. But again, like you said, it's writing it down.
It's
So
the
just
writing it
looking,
down.
you know,
Like
yeah.
I've had students that they write all those anatomy terms down, like they're like, I have problems with spelling. I have problems with that. And like, I know they would sit and write before the test, they'd write each word 10 times just to practice. And then when they came in to take it, it was much better because I guess that's just the way your brain works. But I was like, well, that's the way you learn spelling words when you're little. Or it used to be. I don't know if that's really the way they do it anymore.
Sadly, they don't do that anymore.
They don't. No more rainbow words where you had to write it in every color or whatever.
Sadly, no.
Oh, I can't imagine having little people right now. I don't know how everybody's doing. Okay, what else? So
The quiz asked me a password. When the test, the exam too, they say start the test and they ask you for a password. Do I need a password?
for the exam,
Uh-huh.
yep, for the exam, you got to go through Proctor Track. So when you do the login, then it'll give you the password after you prove your identity.
Okay. I think I have to. They don't. The center did not open on Saturday.
There, there should be.
On Sunday.
I don't think
Sunday.
they're open on Sundays anymore.
Oh,
And then
don't
I don't
think.
have a camera. Computer that has a camera.
okay. Well, can you get in there on Monday?
Yes, I will be scheduled. If I
Okay.
schedule this, I schedule late and I will be scheduled. Can you send me a link to schedule, please?
Yep. I'll send you the link to schedule and then I can give you till Monday. I forgot they were closed on Sunday.
I think they are. I feel like I remember reading that in an email that because of everything that they were closing the semester, but I could be wrong, but I'm actually looking up the hours now for you.
Okay. I was thinking maybe they use that day to clean.
And yeah, I kind of really like I remember seeing an email from somebody about that, but I don't remember
Yeah,
for
I don't
sure.
remember either.
Yeah, they've been closed since the last semester. They never open on Sunday. They were out
On
short.
Sunday. Okay.
Can
You
I
know
ask
who else,
one
but
more
they're probably not
question?
open on Sunday either, is the Learning Support Center has a couple computers. You can go in there and borrow a computer with a camera. And they'll put you in a quiet room.
I see that computer, but this computer, when you when you write something wrong, the computer doesn't even give you the right or to write it right.
Okay.
You say chapter 5, chapter 15, chapter 16, chapter 14, chapter 13, right?
Yep. 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep.
So the hours on the website now
Yeah.
say Monday through Thursday, 8 to 8, Friday, 8 to 4:30. It does not have Saturday hours, and Sunday in parentheses it says remote, which I'm not sure what that means, 11:30 to 5.
Oh, I wonder what that means. All right. I'll send you the link, Gigi, and copy Sal in the testing center, and we'll try to figure it out.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to open the quiz 7 so I can get it done, please.
Yeah, I will take care of that. Yep. As soon as we're done here, I'll open that up. And
Okay,
hopefully
Can
it
I ask
works.
one more question about bone?
Yeah.
Can you go over where hyaline cartilage is in the bone?
Okay. So in the bone, the hyaline cartilage, right? It is at the ends. So if you took this bone here, it's over the ends. I just did the video for the articulations, and so it covers the ends. And the idea is it kind of, and in my mind, I was thinking of like a Teflon pan, right? So it's the cartilage is over the ends of the bone. So when the bones come together and at joints or articulations, they're not supposed to rub. It's supposed to kind of make it smooth and reduce friction. So it's pretty much just at the ends of them.
Okay.
And not every bone has that, but ones that articulate with other bones, well, that's stupid. They all articulate with other bones. Ones that move have this, like movable joints that are freely movable have it.
Okay, I think that's where I was getting confused because when I was reading, because I started the notes for the chapter this week,
Yeah.
and it was saying articulate cartilage, but then I was like, is that the same thing as this?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So the articular cartilage is made out of hyaline cartilage. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And so when you age and you get arthritis, it wears. So that cartilage starts to just break down, and then you feel the bones rubbing against each other, and it hurts, causes inflammation. What else can you guys think of? So I should go over the parts for you. So I can do that. That's no big deal. And I used to have videos on the YouTube channel for anatomy from labs they're really old because students would be recording them, but I think it was mainly the next semester of the class. It was like a lot of heart and things like that. But I can look and see if I have any. They're old.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'll make more. And like with the iPad now, and everybody complains about Zoom, but Zoom is easy to make videos with. So there is a purpose for Zoom. Right? All right. Is there anything? So there's bone. And really, once you take this test, we're coasting. Okay, we're going downhill because bone, articulations, and muscle and skin is pretty straightforward. And I posted an announcement because I don't have a lab set up for the week of Thanksgiving. So what I'm going to do is post the rest of the bone and muscles so you guys could work over them over that break. Does that work?
Yeah, so basically you're posting it early in case we want to work on it, but it won't be due until
Right.
like, the week of December 2nd.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm extending the one and I'm posting the other one early.
Okay.
Because they go
December 1st is a
together. Like
Tuesday.
once you learn where the bone is, it's easy to learn where the muscle is.
The long bone is my leg, where the short bone at is my toes,
Yes.
finger,
Yep.
wrist.
Yep. I know. I'm trying to think of what else you guys. What else do you need? I'll go through and I'll grade that quiz too, the lab quiz. We're so close. We just have to finish strong, right?
I have a question. Hard muscle is the same thing as the soft muscle?
Say that
Is it-
again.
It's a hard muscle, cardiac muscle, is the same thing as soft muscle?
Smooth?
Yes, smooth.
No. Nope. So the cardiac muscle is all by itself. It's alone. And then smooth muscle is in your like blood vessels.
Oh.
It's in your digestive tract. So your GI tract, like your stomach, your intestines.
For me, when I make difference between hard muscle and smooth muscle, they look almost the same.
Yeah.
Hard muscle has some like a big hole everywhere, spot everywhere. Cardiac.
And heart muscle has more striations. It looks more like skeletal muscle.
Mm-hmm. But the smooth muscle look like
Smooth muscle. You know what? How smooth muscle is like really smooth. Like if you were icing a cake and you just take a knife and you kind of take the icing and spread it. To me, that's kind of like what smooth muscle looks like. It's just there's not a lot of exciting things about it. It's just kind of to me, it's one of the most boring ones. It's hard to identify. So it's just kind of plain. It doesn't have any striations. It doesn't have those lines in it.
Oh, okay. They look like cardiac and smooth. The cardiac, I see there is some like a long, small part outside.
Well, it's
the
more
smooth
like
look like a blood vessel, like a little bit wound spot everywhere.
yeah. So like parts, yep. You don't have to. You're not ever going to have to identify those anymore. Don't worry about it. I won't ask you those anymore. So don't. Yeah.
I do have a question about testing since this is exam 3 and our final is cumulative. So will that just be based off all, like, just all of the study guides that we've gotten up to this point?
Yeah,
Well,
and I
up to,
think,
like, after we finish muscle and like this section.
yeah, that is a good way to do it. But I also have a study guide that somebody else made that is
Okay.
for the cumulative. And I think it kind of, I have some big, huge ones that are not pretty, but I also have some that are kind of more refined. So I will post those for you guys.
Okay.
Mrs. Josic made some really nice ones. So they're good. So I'll post those.
And then will our lab final be the same week as like our lecture final?
No, I'd like to do it before that,
Okay.
because I think if we do it earlier, then you guys have more time to do and the lab final will just be from the midterm to the end. So it won't be cumulative.
So that'll just be from the, not including the hormone section, but everything past that.
Yeah, where did we stop? Because when did we do brain? Was brain on the lab?
I think we stopped at I think census was not on it. So
Right, but brain was, right?
the brain was.
And the spinal cord?
And the
was?
spinal cord was.
And the spinal
Okay.
cord was. Census is where we stopped off.
Yeah, okay, so then we'll have senses, and then it'll be easy then. Senses, and then bones, and then muscles. So it should be really not bad.
Yeah, because like we had to know the cranial nerves for the last
Right,
one. So that we left off at census.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so senses won't be bad. This will be easy. Hopefully.
And then this might be not a smart question, but for chapter 8, since we aren't doing like super in-depth like lecture whole chapter about it, is it just going to be like the basic, like the big bones in our body, not really like all the tiny little individual ones, and then like all the facial and cranial bones?
Yep. That's
Okay.
it. So the book, so this woman on the book, Valerie O'Loughlin, she teaches at a medical school. She teaches anatomy at a medical school, and she is anatomist. So that's like what she spent her whole life doing. And you can really tell in the chapters with the bone and the muscle, because it's just really full. And you guys don't need to know all that. So that whole chapter, we kind of really pare down, because if you need it in the future, they're going to spend a whole bunch more time teaching you more and more about it before they like let you get in there and do surgery on somebody's shoulder or something.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't have to, there's a lot of information in there, and you can tell that's what she does in that chapter, especially.
I was gonna say, because I was looking through it and I was like, oh my goodness, how am I gonna
No,
remember all these bones?
it's like medical school level stuff, and we don't have to, you don't have to know all that. Even if you're doing radiography, when you go, you learn all the parts, but they have another anatomy where they teach you it. And if you do dental hygiene, they have a head and neck. So we hit the big picture stuff. But that's the chapter where I'm always like, oh, look, you can tell that that's what she does, because there's so much information. So I just kind of use it as a thing for lab.
That's my favorite chapter.
Is it? So what do you want to do? What are you planning to do?
Well, me?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go on and get my PhD, but any of the places want you to have redo your anatomy and physiology within 5 years. So, and I've been out of school for 20 some years. So.
Oh man. But what do you do now? Because I know you teach, but I don't know what you teach exactly.
Oh, I've been over at the health and exercise science part, and
cool.
I teach nutrition, personal health.
Okay.
Their sports diversity class, or whatever we were supposed to call it now, Yeah,
is it-
sports diversity. We used to be more sports ethics, but we've changed it more into diversity and inclusion.
Oh,
So,
cool.
so I've been there for 10 years.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I knew, and I
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was just thinking that this would be the stuff that you liked.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, I was an exercise physiology major, so I'm a bone and muscle person by nature.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so yeah, you learned all of that.
Yep.
And we just kind of dip our toe in.
Yeah. Like I was so excited for it, and then I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's no big deal.
Well, even the people that are massage therapists have like a ton more than we do.
Well, my daughter's a exercise science major at Virginia Tech currently, and that's where I went. It was just coincidence. That's where she ended up too. And so she's took anatomy and physiology last year, and in their major, they're required to take an advanced anatomy and physiology at their senior year. So that's what she has on her plate for next year.
Yeah.
They
See,
actually take 2 years of anatomy and physiology down there.
wow. Well, I knew that they did, like my sisters took like comparative anatomy because they were health, and I guess that's what they were, exercise science. And they had to take some like comparative where they did all sorts of different, I don't know, maybe that doesn't exist anymore, but that was hard.
Well, and the other difference is I mean, because when I took it, it was only 6 credits. They didn't have a lab section. So
Oh,
whereas, now they all have lab sections. I mean, she does too down there now, but so that was the other issue I was running into when I was looking into PhD programs. They want, besides the time frame, they want the lab. And I have to be honest, it's good to have my brain firing again.
well, yeah, because when you're not going, although when you're teaching, you're learning all the time, but
yeah,
it is different.
it's different. It's just different. It's just different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad you're here.
thanks.
Yep.
Good to be here.
Yep. Well, what do you guys think? Are you kind of okay or no?
I feel okay with these, the chapter 7 and the chapter 8 and 9. I feel okay about those.
Good. Well, good. And then we'll do 10, and 10 will be not so bad because it's the muscle physiology part complements the neuron physiology part. So it's not so bad. So we're really at the end, we just kind of coast after doing all the other stuff first. We kind of throw the hard stuff in the beginning and then the easier stuff at the end. I don't know. All right. Well,
about it.
Thank you.
yeah. So I'll talk to you guys next week, and I'll post stuff and send emails.
So next Wednesday at 4.
Yeah. Does that
Okay.
work?
Don't forget to open the quiz 7.
I will do that right now.
It
I have it written on a piece of paper right in front of me, so I won't forget, but that doesn't mean I won't forget. I'm getting it. All right. I'll talk to you
Have a
later.
blessed day.
Yep. Have a good
blessed
night.
one.
Thank you.
Same to you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bless you. Bless you.